Let's go to AP Steadham, which is big radio guy. It's a guy that's on our friend of our program, a historian of the University of Alabama. He's currently at the Manning Passing Academy, actually watching Jalen Hurts throw as we speak. AP, I hope you're doing well. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, Ryan, how are you doing? Glad to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you're watching Jalen Hurts throw as we speak right now. Is he finished up?
No, they're still throwing. They're in a couple of groups. There's 39 college quarterbacks from all division levels, and they're at Guidry Stadium on the main field for Nicholls State University, and they're out there with Peyton and Eli and some other instructors, and they're simulating different types of throws. One of the drills they ran was they simulated the center snap, drop back, take the handoff, and then move to your left or right to escape and throw it over the middle.
How does Jalen look?
Yeah, he's warming up now. He's coming around. It took him a while to get on target, but he's looking pretty good now, though.
Okay. AP, I know I've talked to several different people via text message, and I just want your thoughts on no availability from Jalen Hurts this morning. Up until last night at 8 o'clock, we were all scheduled to talk with Jalen, and I just want to hear your thoughts. Maybe did this create more questions? Just your overall thoughts. Now, I won't kind of push you in one direction or other. Just want to hear your overall thoughts.
Yeah, well, I think at some point he's going to have to answer some questions, and I believe the information that I received is the university did not want him to take the questions, but he was all for taking the questions. But at some point, you're going to have to address the situation. We know there's a stiff competition going on, but they want to manage that message. Perhaps they want to wait till folks are in Tuscaloosa and they're close by. So I think that's the thinking on their part to wait till we get in Tuscaloosa if we're going to have any press conference. It's going to be right here close to home where we can have a more controlled environment. But I think that, part of leadership is facing all types of difficult situations, but that's their, decision. So, they're in charge.
And AP, I said this. If this was a player that was new with the media or has not handled the media in any way negative, then maybe we would kind of look at it and go, well, what's going on? But Jalen Hurts, to my knowledge, has never had any type of nothing, no bump in, no nothing with the media, has always acted in the appropriate manner. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if there's one guy on that team that you could trust with the media, Damian Harris would be one of those guys. Jalen Hurts would be the other guy. I guess maybe I look at it and say, man, what would Jalen say that could go in any direction? I guess that, when you look at Jalen in the adverse situation of the national championship game, there won't be a more difficult moment probably in Jalen Hurts' life that he'll have to face the media minutes after getting benched and watching his teammate win the championship in his position. And look at the way he handled it in the locker room with you and I. He was nothing but class and everything that you would want as your role model of your team.
Yeah, he's always been composed and had the poise to answer the questions, and I think that it's really a great teaching moment for Jalen and the rest of the team, how to face adversity, because that's Nick Saban's always talking about, the team facing adversity, and the next play, I would think that this would be a great situation to answer some questions, maybe quell down the any type of controversy that Nick Saban believes might occur. But that's their choice. And like I said, I don't think Jalen is the one who shied away from being available.
Well, hold on, AP. You just said something right there. You said that it would quell down the moment right now. Wouldn't it be nice to hear from Jalen Hurts? Wouldn't it be nice that Jalen Hurts came out and said, no, I'm not going to transfer. I'm going to battle, and I'm going to grind, and I'm going to give it everything I've given to the university in the last 2 years. Is going to be no different in the next 3 months as I try to earn this quarterback position. To me, that would put an end to a lot of the questions that we have, right? I mean, if he came out and said that, wouldn't that control that message a little bit?
I think so, because there's no question that he's going to compete. He's a competitor, and he's been the face of the University of Alabama football team as a leader for 2 full seasons now. I mean, it took that first game where he took control, against USC, when there was a bit of a question mark in everybody's mind with Blake Barnett. But he's a seasoned professional at the collegiate level. You can make such a statement.
All right, let me ask you, because we're also, even though, I mean, you never know, maybe Alabama will get us all kicked out for the competition tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. There will be a quarterback competition with all the college guys tomorrow evening. There will be reports coming out of that, whether Nick Saban wants them or not. Is that fair?
Yeah, there's going to be reports. I mean, there's nothing he can't control that environment. There's no way. I mean, they're selling tickets. I mean, you have to buy a ticket to get in. I mean, the media has the pass, but everyone else has to buy a ticket. So, yeah, there's going to be reports. There's going to be people who are not even reporters probably videotaping and putting them up on Facebook and social media. So the storyline will be out there one way or another.
All right, AP, I'm gonna shift a little bit and go away from Jalen Hurts. Let me go to Lane Kiffin. AP, you've been covering this game a long time. Where would you put Lane Kiffin as offensive mind, and where would he rank as some of the creativity that we saw in his first year and all the way through his third year working with Jalen Hurts? Where would you rank him?
I mean, the person that I've always appreciated historically was Homer Smith. The '89 team in particular, they didn't have any outstanding receivers. They had Saran Stacy, Kevin Turner, and the running backs. Gary Hollingsworth came off the bench to be the MVP of the league, and he had an offense where you just didn't know where the ball was going to be thrown, and they had a good running game. Kevin Turner had 48 receptions as a fullback. That won't ever be broken at Alabama. But Lane Kiffin, he has an imagination in this era. He's near the top, I think. In certain situations, he kind of gets keyed into a certain type of play, where he's throwing that bubble screen and driving everybody nuts. He kind of dialed into that one play, but he does have a slew of plays that can create a touchdown. I mean, you saw him on the sideline; he'd be his fist pumping when he knew it was thrown for a touchdown. So, he's very, very good. He's right up there.
Lane Kiffin was quoted on ESPN with a podcast with Marty Smith saying that Tua Tagovailoa is in the top 1% of all the quarterbacks he's ever seen. That's a big statement coming from Lane Kiffin.
Well, he's coached some Heisman Trophy guys, right? Matt Leinart, right? I don't know if he coached with Carson Palmer as well at USC, but that's quite a statement. And sometimes when Lane Kiffin makes this statement, he might embellish slightly because he tries to tweak Alabama. But, yeah, there's no question that Tua is a very good passer.
Well, and he said, in the way that he described it, he said, most typical quarterbacks could hit a throw 1 out of 5 times, this particular difficult throw. He said he watched Tua Tagovailoa throw a couple of weeks ago in California, not at the Elite 11 camp. I believe he said Steve Carson's camp out there. You might know more about that than I do. But he said he went out there, and he said he watched him pick up the ball twice and make a throw that was on the money, 40-something yard throw. It was a horizontal throw, which he said is more difficult to make. He said most guys could probably, out of 5 balls, they might be able to hit 1 out of the 5, the typical quarterback. He said he watched him with his own eyes hit 2 out of 2, and he compared him. He said his accuracy and the way that he throws the football is a comparison to Steve Young, is where he put it at. And he said it's just incredible.
Accuracy, that's one of the prime skills that the NFL is seeking for the quarterback position. There's no question. I mean, there's pocket presence and accuracy and the ability to disseminate information quickly. So I'm always looking for quarterbacks that are accurate. that's what leads me to, rate a quarterback fairly high.
Going to be a lot of uniqueness, man, as we gear up for this quarterback competition, and not just tomorrow, but also the quarterback competition. AP, what else did you learn hanging out at the Manning Passing Academy from some of the other guys?
Well, since we couldn't talk to Jalen, I figured I better talk to the Georgia quarterback. He's learning something about a competitive environment himself. So he just suggested to me, just as he would anyone else, that there's competition at a lot of places. We're going to see it at Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, just to name 3 high-profile schools. And these decisions will have to be made, and you're going to have to come up with some answers, maybe even some hypotheticals, which Nick Saban does not favor, but he's going to have quite a few to answer, I believe, sometime in August.
Yeah, this thing, you talked about selling tickets for tomorrow evening's Manning Passing Academy competition, and the college guys, all 39 quarterbacks going toe-to-toe. And could you imagine putting up a set of stands? What do you think the going price would be? You think we get $50 a pop to watch practice and watch this competition that we're gearing up with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, or maybe 50, maybe at least 40, 35? What do you think would be and we'd probably be able to pack it out, right, for a good charity?
Yeah, Ryan, I believe you can sell more than tickets. You can sell some popcorn and other things.
hey, at least we get a front row seat for this thing. AP, I appreciate you, man, for being a part of the show, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you very, very soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.